Okay, good morning. It is Wednesday, 15th of July, around about 11:30 as I'm recording this. So this is the final message from me during this academic year. There's quite a lot of information to get through this morning. So I'm going to break it down and show you where it links to the letters that we're going to send out across our school community during the next 24 hours. So what I'm going to discuss with you this morning is some general information around changes and adaptations we are making and have made to school as we look forward to September. I'm going to talk to you specifically about the safety measures and safety protocols that we've put in place and will continue to put in place between now and September. And then thirdly, we're going to look at our arrangements for return to school for everybody in September. And I just want to add into today's message the kind of communications and the kind of information you can expect from us during August. I think, as I stated in my Friday message, senior leadership will return to school on the 17th of August to take stock of any changes to any guidance and to see if circumstances have changed either nationally or locally that might affect as we go forward with our plans. So everything that I'm going to talk to you about will be followed up in 3 letters. So over the next 24 hours, you will receive all this information across 3 letters, which we will send out across all our communication platforms. So you should see it on the website, on Twitter, on Facebook, and then via this video message on our YouTube channel. The first thing that I would point out to you would be how we intend to set up overall and sort of allied to how the government have managed information. School has 3 identifiable levels of operating as we go forward from this point. So I would describe these very simply as level 1 would be the school in lockdown, whether that would be school in terms of a local lockdown or a national lockdown. And in terms of operating in those circumstances, we would run a provision for our critical worker children, as we have done across this period, and then we would support that with as close to a full timetable delivery of live learning events as possible. So a small team of students and staff on the school premises, and the remainder of our staff teaching via our remote live learning events so that we can keep education provision moving. Level 2 is very much an interim model, and it's where we expect to be in September. It is a recognisable timetable. It is a broad curriculum offer so that the majority of students access all their lessons, but the school is predicated on all the safety measures. So some very strict systems of control would be in place. Enhanced hygiene, cleaning, one-way systems, and restricted movement on the site, supported by staggered times for entrances and exits. Now I'll discuss what level 2 looks like as I talk about information from letter 2 and 3, because as I stated, that should be the September position for everyone. And then the third level we'd operate at in the future would be school as we may recognise it from the past. Full timetable, pretty much a normal school day, things that we would previously have been used to. So we'll operate going forward on a 3-level model. We're currently at level 1 and we expect to open at level 2 in September. Okay, so all the information that's coming your way will be in the form of 3 letters. And the first letter is general information around school for September 2020. So just let me touch on a few key points from that letter. It will be, there'll be a reminder that the 20th of August is results day for our Year 11 students, and obviously we wish them well for that day. Hopefully it will be a day where they can turn up on site and see us in a socially distanced, controlled way, but at least we get to see them face to face to collect their results. Information around that has already gone to those students from Mr. Smithson. It also outlines what our 3 development objectives will be for 2020 into 2021. So the senior group have been working in the background on how to take the school forward, irrespective of any sort of global, local, national conditions. And the 3 things that we'll focus on will be the introduction of a personal development curriculum across year 7, 8 and 9, the introduction of a year 7 foundation year to make the transition from primary to secondary smoother, and from an academic point of view, a lot tighter. And it will also be the development of Sir William Stanier into a hybrid teaching and learning organisation. And as I've mentioned in previous messages and in previous correspondence, what that means is that we expect to be able to mirror virtually and online the type of work we do physically in our building, so that we can add to our teaching, learning and curriculum capacity. I'll talk more about those things with families and with students as we start the academic year in September. Letter 1 also mentions the new staff that will join us. So we have 3 key staff coming into Sir William Stanier. Mr Oakes will join us in maths as director of 14 to 16. He will initially cover Miss Bulin's maternity coverage, but he will join us on the staff full time from that point. And he's also started working with our year 10s during some of the closure periods. Also joining us in maths will be Mr Rogers, who will join us as an advanced skills maths teacher, and again he'll be teaching across all the year groups. And Miss Follett will join us as Senko from September. She'll be working closely alongside Mrs Norton and picking up the work that Miss Banks did. And Miss Banks, remember, left us in April. The letter will also contain the key dates for the next academic year. We return on Tuesday the 1st of September. It's probably the only appropriate way to go in at this point on a video message, because you'll see the dates in all the half terms, and again that will carry us through into 2021 irrespective of any other things that are going on around us. There's a reminder in the letter also that from the 1st of April we joined the Knutsford Multi-Academy Trust, so we are now in a wider group of Cheshire East schools. And I sort of hint and state strongly there that that's a huge positive for our school and our students and our staff in terms of widening opportunity for everybody. There's some contact information in there that clarifies how to get in touch with the school during the break should you need to, and a reminder that we close this coming Friday the 17th of July at 12:30. Senior team back in on the 17th of August. Return to school beginning on Tuesday the 1st of September. So that will all be caught in letter 1. Letter 1 will be out at some point today, and we'll move now to content on the other letters. Moving on to letter 2, I just need to discuss with you safety and how we minimise and mitigate risk across our building. So following guidance from government, we have put in a system of controls which is designed to keep everybody safe in line with all the measures that will be existing across many institutions and buildings across society. It is the basis of our risk assessment, and we will look at those risk assessments on a daily, weekly and possibly change them on a fortnightly basis. So there's a strong safety net under everything that we've designed and everything that we've put in place. Now, in August, what we will release during that week beginning the 17th is a walkthrough video for all year groups to acclimatise people as they step back into our building. What are the changes that we've made, why have we made them, and what does everybody have to adhere to? The key thing will be that it will be everybody's responsibility to follow the safety guidance, whether it's staff or students, when we return in September, if we are to keep everybody safe. So just a few highlights from that, because it underpins also the new behaviour and code of conduct policies which have been simplified and changed, and that will also be released to you over the next 24 hours. So there's nothing you wouldn't expect in there really. As per government guidance, nobody, no staff, no student should arrive on site if they are showing symptoms of COVID-19 as they leave home. Anybody who shows symptoms during their time in school will be isolated and will be asked to leave site. There will be guidance given to them, which will be around access to testing, and it will also outline the self-isolation protocols that should be followed whilst test results are being waited for, and depending on what the test result outcome is. We will fall in line fully with test and trace as that comes online. We expect more guidance on that over the summer, but you can expect that would be in place again to assist us keeping everybody safe in the building. Hand hygiene and general hygiene in the building has been a massive focus for us. So we deep cleaned the building back in April. Many parts of the school have been closed and not been used since then. They will be re-cleaned before September, and we've introduced stringent new cleaning regimes in the building, and they will follow the timetable so that spaces will be cleaned during the school day, as well as in the morning and in the evening when we return in September. There are hygiene stations around the school at key points, and in every classroom there is a hygiene station where there is sanitizer, antiseptic wipes, and everything that's required to keep surfaces and equipment clean. Now, social distancing has been part of everybody's lives over the last few months, so I just want to outline how we will apply social distancing protocols in our spaces. You will see staggered entry points around school. If you've been to our building, you can see the measures that we've put in place several weeks ago now. So they will be retained. So on entrances and on corridors, 2 meters social distancing will continue. Within classrooms, there is 2 meters social distancing away from teachers, and where possible, 1 meter and 1 meter plus between students. To accommodate all our students back in September, all our desks will be front facing. We've currently operated a system where there's a maximum of 8 students in a classroom, but having modelled this several times, it is impossible to bring everybody back in fully and retain that kind of distancing. So social distancing retains in place throughout the building. Now, there's a lot of crossover now in terms of safety with the arrangements for return. So if you require a tour of the building, if it makes you feel better and your child feel better experiencing the space before September, then contact us on any of the email addresses or numbers that we'll attach to the letters and arrange an appointment. And those appointments can be done whenever it suits you from the 17th of August. We've done that with 85% of our current year 10 going into year 11. And I think if you ask them, that experience did help them come back in. So in summary, and there is a long list of measures on paper that is far longer than makes sense for me to read out to you now. We are following government guidance to the letter and following our risk assessments on how to bring people safely back into the building. Okay, the final bit of information this morning is regard to the third letter. So that is the arrangements for September for the return to school of everybody. And there's a lot of crossover with safety, as I mentioned earlier. But what is probably best for me to do at this point is just to step through some of the key arrangements that you will see on paper and just highlight the things that certainly jump out to me about how best to do this for everybody. So there will be 3 staff training days at the start of the year. So from Tuesday the 1st of September to Thursday the 3rd of September is staff only. And that is an additional day's training for teachers. The reason why we've taken that step is that it's a very different building now than the one we closed in March. And certainly by the time the remainder of the risk assessments have been finished and all the changes to how this building operates in September, it requires a full uninterrupted day's training for staff purely on that issue. We begin to bring students back on Friday the 4th of September. So on Friday the 4th of September, year 7 and year 11 will return to school. It's difficult to prioritise any children's return. In terms of the considerations that are made, year 11 have already been back into the building, have stepped back towards that, they're stepping into their examination year, and we have a lot to realign and to recover and to catch up in terms of their lessons. Ordinarily, now our new year 7s have had a minimum of 2 days in the building already, and they've not had that. I'm very happy and very proud of the type of work we've done with them, adapting to do a lot of online contact, and have met a lot of people one-to-one for building visits. But we think it's important to protect that day for year 7. So year 7s will return on Friday the 4th of September. From Monday the 7th of September, we start to bring the other year groups back in. So on Monday the 7th, Year 7, 10 and 11 will be on site. On Tuesday the 8th, it is Year 7, 8, 10 and 11. And on Wednesday the 9th, Year 9 join us so that all our children will be fully returned and inducted into the new school building on Wednesday the 9th of September. And from there, we think we can safely and effectively move forward. There are new adaptations and there are new rules that we've put in, and induction means we have to learn them so that we keep ourselves and keep others safe. Now, all this is laid out in our letter, but I'll just pick up on a couple of things that I think are important based on conversations I've had with parents and from the things that jump out from the guidance to me, both as a professional and if I was in a parent's position as well. I mentioned earlier we'll do a video walkthrough in August. That's going to be really important because the school is very different to the one that we closed in March. So we'll have those and we'll hope to release those at the latest on Friday the 24th of August. Having watched that, you may then want to arrange a visit to meet one of our staff to walk around the spaces and to see how the building works. We've chosen to zone our building, so we've compartmentalised it. There will be areas where year group bubbles will operate. There will be a one-way system in place across the school, and in corridors, which we need to keep empty unless it's essential movement, there are 2-metre markers everywhere. Corridors are confined spaces. There is restricted airflow, so we think it is safe to bring 2 metres in across all our corridor spaces. It is the best way to ensure safety on corridors. In terms of start and finish times, although we can't control what happens outside the school gates, we can certainly control what happens inside the school gates. So all starts, finishes, breaks and lunches are staggered. So you will see in letter 3 the change the timings across the day. Although the day is recognisable in terms of overall start and finish, it is extended, as you can see, for Year 11 students to allow us to put in some additional catch-up in their exam year. But the idea is in 15-minute slots to stagger how children come into and how they leave the building. And again, that is built around their year group bubbles and the zoning that we'll put in place. A couple of key things then, I think, to touch on in terms of things we take for granted possibly in the day-to-day. So canteens and lunches. Again, these times are staggered. We'll review canteen arrangements every week, but for the first 3 weeks of term, so up until Monday the 21st of September, we won't be providing a breakfast club and we won't be providing any hot lunches at school. We encourage everybody to bring in this first period, packed lunches, and we will be providing an order service for sandwiches. So it'll be a grab bag, easily disposable, recyclable bag provision that will be in the canteen. Now, we've originally scheduled that for the first 3 weeks. So certainly until week beginning Monday the 21st of September, that will be in operation. We intend to update and do video messages like this weekly anyway to families. So if things do change in the interim, we can bring any dates forward or we can extend dates forward and keep you in the picture. Because we're based in year group bubbles and therefore pretty much in form rooms with a lot of restricted movement, not be using lockers. There's a hygiene reason for that, and there's a keeping corridors clear reason for that as well. But all equipment, all things that children bring to school can be kept safely in locked form rooms. There are no changes or adaptations to uniform. Uniform is safe to wear. Again, if you're having issues getting any uniform, regardless of your year group, please contact reception and we can signpost you and help you from there. Now, you will have noted, like I've done, that over the last 7 days, the position nationally on face masks has changed and face masks will be statutory in shops from the 24th of July. Now, our current guidance continues with there is no need for face masks in school for adults or children. Now, we will anticipate further updates on the use of face masks in school, certainly I think before we get to the August communication position. So at the moment we are following government guidance and face masks are not required within school. If this situation changes, we'll adapt quite simply, and we'll inform you of that and how that would work for your child and for staff. I've mentioned movements restricted. Okay, we think we can quite easily offer as broad as possible a curriculum offer in terms of subject access, with the children staying still and teachers moving around the site to teach them. In a classroom, we are front facing, double desks, 1 metre plus, with 2 metres away from teachers. And there are sanitisers and antiseptic wipes, all windows open during the school day. So in terms of following guidance for classrooms, that is as close as we can get it to get everybody back in. We think it's safe, we think it's manageable, we will review it on a daily and a weekly basis. And I'm also aware from my communications with other head teachers across Cheshire East that will pretty much be the experience for every Cheshire East child, if not in the wider Northwest and wider country as well. The only changes we will make to curriculum provision that I can inform you about now is that we will restrict practicals until week beginning Monday the 21st. Again, similar to canteen, that's a date that we can be flexible with. But our priority on return is to assimilate everybody back in to a one-way building, a zoned building, a form room based building. And there are separate risk assessments around all our practical spaces, but we expect to bring those back in as quickly as we possibly can. We just won't be starting with them for a safety reason. Now, there's much more in the arrangements there, and it's probably easier to view on paper because you can take your time and pore over that. If you do have any questions from what I've said, or if you do have any questions, or if you think we've missed anything in what we've communicated out, then please get in touch either by email or by calling reception either now or in the August period. And again, in August, that information drop will include further information, not just updates on things we've already put in place, but further information whilst we risk assess transport and the journeys to school. Where are you going to drop children off? What are the arrangements for the driveway and the car parks, etc.? That will all be information that we'll put into August. Okay, I did say it was quite an extensive briefing this morning, so I do want to draw it to a close. So I appreciate your time if you've followed this briefing from start to finish. So in August, just to we will have a video update per year group, and again we'll write down anything and send it out in letter form for any changes that we'll make. I'll discuss transport with you. We'll be reviewing all the key information, all the key guidance, and assessing the landscape sort of locally, nationally as well. And I'll take the opportunity to answer any questions on behalf of everybody that may come in during the period. So, quick recap, 3 letters that should cover everything over the next 24 hours. If not, email or call, and look out for that August update. Okay, I think that's all from me for this message. So thank you for hanging in there and listening to it all. We do appreciate your support. Last few reflections really. On Friday, please try and join our live learn event assemblies. We'll be doing year group assemblies and our whole school assembly, which Mrs. Casewell has put together for us. I think that's a great way to finish. We're really looking forward to meeting our year 6 into year 7. Ordinarily, I would have got to know them by now, and so at the moment, the last time I seen the majority of those young people was in the assemblies that I did way back in October in their primary school. So we're really looking forward to that. We've got an exciting year 7 curriculum planned, and we can't wait for you to join the SWS family. Best wishes to year 11s. We really feel strongly for you. I wrote to all our year 11 students and their families and said we really back you. We really it's disappointing nationally that this has happened to children in that year group, and in some ways it really wasn't fair. You deserved a chance. You work hard. We've done our best for you with the grades that we've put forward. We look forward to seeing you on results day. We hope you get the grades that you think you worked hard and you deserve, and we will do everything we can to make sure that step into post-16 education or training is absolutely seamless. So you can rely on us to help you with that. And as for everybody else, it hasn't been the same without you. So we're looking forward to that energy coming back in, and again, we've built exciting new things for you to take part in to move the school forward. Thanks for your support, families, carers, parents out there. It's been really good, and it's kept us going. You know, we've been in school every day across this very strange period, and we've really enjoyed hearing about the things you've benefited from, and from seeing all the work that you've sent in across all our platforms. It's really put energy back in all those teachers, thinking everything that they're setting up in the background and working on has been worth it. So thank you for that. We've tried our best in very difficult circumstances and tried to reach out to you. I hope you found it effective. I hope you've seen it improve, and I hope the communication has kept you in the loop. And we've tried to do it. We've tried to do it well, and we've tried to do it with a high frequency. Last thing for me is just to hope you stay safe. Okay, stay safe. Spend time doing the things that you enjoy, and I'll see you in September. So have a great summer. Look after yourselves, and thank you.